Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and I want to talk today about why you must take action quickly. You know, the unsuccessful, people who are poor, people who are just mediocre in life, they will sit down and they'll think and they'll ponder and they will deliberate and they'll go ask a bunch of people all about doing something simple. And they spend more time thinking about it and discussing it and pondering it than it would take to even do the thing in the first place. And one of the things I've noticed over the years, I know it in my own life and I've seen in other people's lives, that people who have any kind of success, they take action quickly. They get an idea, they start immediately acting on it. And that is not something you find in average people. Normal people don't do that. The mediocre don't do that. The poor certainly don't do that, unless they're poor people who are rising up out of that and they're making strides toward great success. But if they're just stagnating and at a standstill, they don't do that. This is something you have to get away from. And what got me to think about this again was I was listening to an interview with a very successful man, and the interviewer mentioned a book, and the man being interviewed said, "What is that book title again?" Now, I just presumed he was writing it down. He's going to maybe research it later. And then later in the interview, the guy mentioned the book again, and the person being interviewed said, "Yeah, I already ordered that." So he was on an interview. Somebody mentioned a book. He mentioned a quote from the book. It really resonated with him. And he not only took action immediately, he was in the middle of doing something else. And I think that really is just the ultimate example of why people are successful. They just take action quickly. Now you may say, rightfully so, well, but what if you're taking the wrong action? And see, this is one of the things that people who have never been successful don't seem to understand, is even the wrong action taken quickly sometimes leads to better results than delaying action. And that's hard for people to understand because they're so afraid, they're so risk averse. They're so afraid, well, this might happen, or that bad thing might happen, or this awful thing. And no, none of that's going to happen. You're not taking unwise decisions. You're not taking action on things that are foolish. But something wise comes your way. It makes sense. You immediately start taking action on it. Doesn't mean you take action on everything that comes your way. There's a lot of things you're going to say no to, and that's all right. But it's better to say no, because that is taking action quickly. Just promptly say no to something than to say, well, let me think about it and ponder it. Now, there may be times you do need to think about something. Sort of like making a big move, or you're going to move across the country, you're going to move into a different country or something like that. Okay. But that's not most daily decisions. Most daily decisions, it doesn't matter really one way or the other. If you make it, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you make it quickly, the decision yes or no, it does have a big impact on your life because you start making some progress and getting some momentum built toward great success. Like I said, I've never known anyone who's successful who doesn't take prompt action. Now, the prompt action may be to say, I'm not doing that. And that's it. No other thoughts, no pondering, no questioning 20 people to try to get some advice on it. They just say no. And this is why it's so important you be led by the Spirit. Because you can immediately know some of these things, we need to be doing anything with them or just say no to them. But as a person led by the Spirit of God, you must take action promptly if you're led to do so. If you're led not to do so, there's no reason to question. There's no reason to go ask people's opinions on it. You just say no and move on. Get to doing the things you should be doing, the things you know to do. But it's very likely if you haven't had great success yet in life. Now, maybe there's just a time period and you're just growing into success. That's one thing. But if you've been going at it for many, many years and you're having no success, it may be because you are not taking action promptly. It may be that you're that person that delays things. A simple thing like that man buying the book, he did it immediately. But you may sit there and go read all the reviews about it and spend 30 minutes reading reviews on a book that costs $5. thus making your time worth less than $5 for that 30 minutes. Does that make any sense to a person who's going to be successful, to a person who's striving for betterment? You just buy the book and do it, and move on to something more important. Move on to something more valuable. It's not worth your time to waste reading reviews for 30 minutes or an hour. I've known people have done that. I suggest a book, it costs $5 literally, used, and then a few days later, well, did you get that book? Well, no, I was reading reviews on it still. And it's like, wait, 2 days later, how many reviews are you reading? Well, I spent about an hour. Like, what? Meanwhile, when I've mentioned a book to successful people, and a few days later I talk to them again, not only have they bought the book, they've already read it. There's just something different about the way people behave when they're successful. And these are people who don't have tons of free time. The average person has a lot of free time. They just fill it up with junk. Video games and watching movies and reading the news and sports scores and all this garbage. Ultra successful people have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of pulls to their time. And yet they still get more done. And they take action promptly. Now, this isn't just about reading books, but that's just one example because that's such a small, minor thing. It can have great benefits, of course, but people don't take action. They go try to figure stuff out. Let me go ask people. Let me get other opinions, and just stuff that wastes time. In many cases, it's merely a form of procrastination. Listen, if you know something to do, something just rises up in your spirit, that'd be a good thing to do, go do it. Don't second guess, don't doubt, don't get into wavering and unbelief. Just do it. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I know I need to. I am talking about wise things, not some foolish thing that pops in your mind. Hopefully, if you're renewing your mind daily, you're doing affirmations, you're getting yourself in the high vibrational state, and you're reading and studying and educating yourself regularly, you're not having foolish thoughts come to your mind. Now, if you have a foolish thought, you just go, okay, no. That's immediate action, though. That's still immediate action. The immediate action was to say no to it. But if it's something you should do, something that makes sense, just do it. Don't let another day go by where you spend more time researching something or debating whether you should do it or not than it would take to just do the thing. My friend, your time is so valuable. And if you're going to make the best use of your time, redeeming the time, you're going to have to start taking action immediately. Be prompt and take massive action. Don't delay, don't put off, don't discuss, don't hold a committee about it. Just take the action and watch yourself become a greater success. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.